Hey everybody, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be filming the Gilmore Girls tag. Each question is based off of one of the characters from the show. This is one of my favorite shows of all time, if not my favorite show of all time. And I'm actually really excited to do this, especially with the new revival coming on soon. So let's just jump right into it. Question number 1, Lorelai Gilmore, a character with a witty or sarcastic sense of humor. For this question, I had to pick Jace from the Mortal Instruments series, or technically any character from the Mortal Instruments series, because the sass is real in this book. Like, everybody in this book is so sarcastic towards each other, and there are just so many, like, remarks and comments that are made, and you're kind of just like, why would I not have thought to say something like that? It's super funny, and the banter in this book between all of the characters is great. Question number 2, Rory Gilmore, your favorite classic. For this question, I'm going to have to go with Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I know a lot of people don't actually think of this as a classic, but I definitely do. It's been around for a really long time. It is a children's book, so again, another reason why people might not consider it a classic, but this is definitely my favorite. I know a lot of people don't actually like this book because I think it's really weird and strange. I guess those words kind of mean the same thing. I swear I speak English. But, no, I feel like this book is just very beautiful and whimsical and very almost dreamland-esque, and I really like this. Question number 3, Luke Danes, a book that you secretly love but you're scared to admit it. For that, I'm going to have to answer with Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard. There is so much hate for these books, and that's why I don't want to admit that I love these books. I have all of them except for the last 2. I did kind of give up on the series, but I definitely love these books. It's definitely a guilty pleasure. They're really cheesy and the writing kind of sucks, but I don't know, I think they're kind of entertaining. They definitely kept me drawn in the entire time, but they were still just kind of eh. But I love them anyways. Question number 4, Lane Kim, a musical character. So for this, I would be absolutely crazy if I didn't pick Jem Carstairs from The Infernal Devices. He's actually the first person that I thought of whenever I read this question. He is very talented. He plays the violin, which if you've read this series, you know that's one of the most amazing parts about this series. He plays the violin, and he writes music, and there's a song written, and it's just everything. It's gold. I love it. But yeah, he is definitely my favorite musical character from this series, and from most series, actually. Question number 5. Dean Forrester, your first book love. So my answer for this is going to seem totally random, but it's Ned from the Nancy Drew books. I collect these books. I've been reading them ever since I was a little kid. And Ned is definitely my favorite first love interest, or my first favorite love interest, however you want to word that. But I used to love him whenever I was little. I just loved him and Nancy together. And I don't know, it was just really cute back then. It still is now. Question 6, Sookie St James, a book that you devoured. For this question, I picked The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I read this book in about a day, I believe, or a day and a half maybe. I absolutely loved it. I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of this book, either you love it or you hate it, but I loved it. I flew through it, and I flew through the second one just as fast. I still haven't read the third one yet because I do not own it. I hope I will soon, but these books are just so good. Question number 8, Miss Patty, a book that was ruined by the hype. For this, I'm going to go with Paper Towns by John Green. It's not that John Green's writing is bad. I had this book for a while, and I decided to finally read it right before the movie came out, and I read it really quick, and it kind of fell flat for me. I really loved The Fault in Our Stars as well as Looking for Alaska, and this book just didn't cut it for me. I feel like it was just very meh, I guess I could say. It just wasn't the best book. The characters weren't all that great. The writing was decent, but nothing major. But I did like the movie though when I went to see it, but I feel like they could have almost had them as 2 separate entities completely that didn't have to be related to the book whatsoever, because they were really different from each other actually. Question number 9, Emily Gilmore, an expensive book. For this, I'm picking Blankets by Craig Thompson. That's his last name, right? Yep, Thompson. This book was 30 some odd dollars, and for a teenager, that is a lot of money, but I did get it for Christmas though, so it was okay. But I feel like a lot of graphic novels are really expensive these days, but this one's really big too, which can also explain it. But yeah, graphic novels are kind of expensive, which is why I don't buy them very often. There we go. I swear I speak English, like I said. Question number 10. Paris Geller, an uptight character. For this, I'm going to go with the mother from Something Real by Heather Demetrios. This is a book about a girl whose family used to be on a reality TV show, and then the TV show starts back up again. And the mom really only cares about their image and how they seem on TV, and she's very, very strict about the way her kids act, that way they don't ruin their image. And she's just very, very rude a lot and very uptight about the rules that she has, and that's why I picked her for this question. Question 11. Richard Gilmore, a character's death that you won't get over. So for this question, I'm gonna not spoil anything for anybody, but if you've read this book, you might know exactly what I'm talking about, because I'm doing this more theoretically than like actually doing this. But there is a death in City of Heavenly Fire that broke my heart, and it broke a lot of other people's hearts, but Cassandra Clare does what she always does and somehow tries to make up for the death. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are going to know what I'm talking about, but if you do, good for you, because I'm being really, really wishy-washy with this answer. Question number 12. Logan Huntsberger, a character who goes through a lot of development. So with my answer for this, I'm kind of not being that creative, because I'm picking Triss from the Divergent series, or trilogy. I don't know what you'd rather call it, because I mean there was the book of novellas. But definitely through the first 3 books, she undergoes a lot of development, especially since she starts out in Abnegation. That is where she was, right? I think. If I'm wrong, I'm going to feel super stupid. And then joins Dauntless. That's definitely a big change there. But then even throughout the rest of the series, mentally she undergoes a lot. Physically she undergoes a lot. Emotionally she undergoes a lot. And that's just a lot of development for one character over these 3 books. So that's why I picked her for this question. So I decided to come up with 2 extra bonus questions. And the first one I'm doing is Kirk, a strange or quirky character that you loved. For this, I'm picking both Eleanor and Park from Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. Both of these characters are 2 very, very different characters. They're almost complete opposites, and they're both very out there with their with their characteristics, I guess I could say. And that's why I like them. They're both really quirky. They both have really weird personality traits, and they both complement each other very well, which is why I picked Eleanor and Park for my answer. And for my last question is Michel, your favorite character from another country other than your own. And for this, I picked, I believe her name is Shazi, I think. I'm probably really, really wrong. It's been a little while since I've read this. But from The Wrath and the Dawn. And I don't actually remember what country it is. I want to say it's, let me look. In the book, it says Khorasan. I'm not entirely sure where that is or if that's even actually a real country, but I do know that it's kind of almost based, kind of like Arabian Nights, or I can't remember the name of that other book, but it's definitely set in a foreign country. And I really, really liked her. She's a really, really great character. She even undergoes a lot of development in this as well, and that's why I picked this book for that. So that's it, everybody, for this Gilmore Girls book tag. I'll make sure to link the original video down below, as well as the video that I saw, which was Heather over at Bookables. I don't really have anybody to tag, but if you want to do this tag, then go ahead and do it, because I love Gilmore Girls, and this was a lot of fun for me, trying to match up characters with different books and other characters from other books. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye!